Hello, it is December 2nd, 2025. Sometimes I watch Jimmy Kimmel. I'll record it, and he always takes uh they'll show blurbs of all newscasters or people going, I can't believe it's December. Can you believe it's December? They'll go to the next reporter. It's like, and I'm like, can you believe it's December 2025? I mean, wow. Well, uh, thank you for coming out tonight. There's Buddha Ed, Buddha Jerry, Buddha Chaz, Buddha D. You know, due to what D kind of said to me last week, I I really, really do know there's only God source, but the sonship, but he created these. Well, there's no gender, but that's why the Course in Miracles says this the sonship brothers. We're all brothers. And of course, it's not any gender, female or male, but that's why it's Buddha or Christ, because we're created out of the same clear light that source is. We're sustained by that, but yet we awaken to our Buddha Christ nature. This I'm recognizing we're all Buddhas by nature, but some are sleeping Buddhas and some are awakened Buddhas. We were just kind of talking about that. We're awakening, and in a moment you can see the vast open spaciousness, but then, like Dee was talking about, then being in the human form, we fall back asleep. We fall back into some habit. Then we wake up for a moment, see the open spaciousness, etc. And awakening becomes where we're stabilizing that view of the clear light, the view of the clear light of source that created everything, sustains everything, energizes, and keeps things purified, etc. Okay, now let's see. The teaching topics for tonight that I emailed out is the first one. The first one is I've said it, but in particular, I didn't really understand, hadn't fully experienced it, but I've heard masters say everything flows through you, through meaning each of us. And I could kind of understand that because this clear light's expanding and contracting through every form. It never stops at the edge of our body and continues on into Ed's and Chaz's and Jerry's and Dee's bodies. It's all continuous. But I hadn't really ever felt the flow of everything through my body. But that happened. That happened. Started on the 25th, no, 28th, last Friday. So I'm going to be discussing that. The flow of everything goes in and out of your form, each form, simultaneously. Second topic is it's called reconditioning and deconditioning. And see why I like listening to Lama Surya Das's podcasts and other Tibetan leaders. They put this awakening in words that really help me, because I find the text for A Course in Miracles gets kind of confusing. And so, anyway, so that's why this Holy Spirit brought this Lama Surya Das and Tibetan Buddhism. And he brought then Dzogchen, this direct access, very direct path to awakening. But then he brought meditation, Trechin's seeing through, being through, the Dharma or truths, Buddha Dharma, the Sangha, and then the thought of Buddha, awakened Buddha, which integrated the course to me, helped me understand the course. So reconditioning and deconditioning. What I realized is for happened so that I could experience that flow of everything through my form that I'm going to describe here in a bit. is because my heart, mind, and body have been reconditioned back to their natural open state, reconditioned. And then the deconditioning is of the mind, of old habits, old ways old deconditioned from habitual old ways of thinking, reacting, walking, eating, breathing, and relating moment to moment. Now, why I'm listing these, it's really a big deal. I never, when I look at this, never really understood what mindfulness was. I just thought, you kind of think about when you're eating, you might think about the food taste, or, but there's a whole, all the senses can be brought into that moment of eating. I had habitual patterns, behavioral patterns on how I think, how I react, how I walk, how I eat, how I breathe, and how I relate moment to moment. And it's not just me, we all got them. That's the deconditioning of the mind so you can wake the hell up. Momentarily, you let go of some of these old patterns. I'm going to be discussing that. And third, it feels like due to that reconditioning and deconditioning and this flow coming in and going out of everything through the form, there's not the separation between objects and me. And as a result, it kind of feels like that my heart, my mind, my body has just surrendered, just relaxed, surrendered, let go, and it's dissolved. The edges of my body, the edges of my mind, the edges of my heart have dissolved to be merged in union with this clear light that's here in a stable fashion. It's not as intermittent as it was. And so then last week, Angela brought up after I stopped the recording last week, some of us stay in chat, and really great things occurred during that. But Angela brought up lesson 222 in A Course in Miracles, and I realized that's what I'm experiencing now. And I'm going to read this lesson. This lesson is God is with me. I live and move in Him. Here's the whole lesson. God is with me. He is my source of life, the life within, the air I breathe, the food by which I am sustained, the water which renews and cleanses me. He is my home, wherein I live and move, the spirit which directs my actions, offers me its thoughts. That's capital ITS is capitalized, and thoughts is a capital T. We're getting holy, divine, Buddha, Christ thoughts, come in among these egoic thoughts, and guarantees my safety from all pain. He covers me with kindness and with care and holds in love the sun he shines upon, who also shines on him. How still is he who knows the truth of what he speaks today? Exclamation mark. Very, very seldom is just Jesus use an exclamation mark in A Course in Miracles. When you see one, you want to back up and go read that thing again. But anyway, and then he ends with, Father, we have no words except your big capital Y, your capital N name upon our lips and in our minds as we come quietly into capital Y, your capital P presence now, and ask to rest with you in peace a while. Now, that's what each of you are glimpsing for moments is this capital P presence. That's this clear light. And it's clear because it's pure, unconditional love showing up as clear light. And that clear light is what got compressed into that great ray tube to energize your body. And to energize it, the ray comes in and causes your heart to compress, and then it comes up, goes back up to source. And when it comes back up, that's the other beat. So the energy of the great ray light, clear light, is in union with the breath energy. Even though you may not feel that, you feel your vibration many times, but even though you don't feel that great right in and out, like just believe and know, check it out. Your breath follows. It is your breath is created by the great ray light, in and out movement. It's all expanding and contracting together. But anyway, so as I look was contemplating this all everything flowing through my form, how that came about, I realized, and I added to our tool list. And when I emailed you that, the new tool list is named Revised. And at the third page, I think it starts another list of things I realize I've been practicing here near the end that is resulting in this delusion of separateness going away. And I realized, based on what I know now, I could have saved myself years of work. I'm not kidding you. I really feel like I could have saved 10 years. See, it all kind of started in 2004 when I didn't really know much. So let's just say 2014 when I found Gary Renard's book and learned about advanced forgiveness, that what it means in the Course, seeing beyond the body, beyond the flesh to the clear light of spirit that's here. So let's just say 2014. And this is 2025. So we got 11 years there. I tell you, I could have saved myself 5 years at least of work if I had practiced these things. And I realized when Holy Spirit brought that Lama Surya Das, damn, in his podcasts and teachings and books, he talks about these things that I'm going to summarize tonight and are in that tool list, that toolbox I gave you. I didn't understand the significance. I got sidetracked, really reading and intellectualizing and etc. So I just lay all that aside and just kind of tune into and read my email about these items that are the basic practice that can free your mind, open your mind. It opens your heart. It frees your mind from these habitual patterns, opens your body, and you become the embodiment of Buddha and Christ. Right now, it's your nature. This is your innate nature. And with these practices, what happens is panoramic awareness is unveiled. Panoramic awareness is your natural ability. Awareness, capital A awareness, panoramic awareness is the Buddha Christ awareness, where, like in this teaching email, I've been listening to EP 70 podcasts of Lama Surya Das called Caught Up in the Trees. And I sent you I'm transcribed about 2/3 of that podcast. And besides that, number 84 that I've explained to you, it changed my life, was monumental. This baby follows right with it. They're in conjunction. EP 70, Caught Up in the Trees. And what that means is when we're within the delusion of separation, of egotism, thinking I'm a separate self and each of you are separate bodies, separate people, you can't find your way out of the trees. You see the trees and you don't get the upper view. You're caught up in the trees and you don't have the view of the big picture of the forest itself. And we're caught up in the arisings in the mind, like caught up in thoughts, sensations, the six sense thought. Mind is one of the six senses, but sights, seeing things, hearing things, smelling things, tasting things, touching things. We're caught up in these six senses. They're called the arisings of the mind: thoughts, feelings, sensations. We have them And then in a split second, that small awareness agrees with it. And we agree with it because we continue thinking about it. And when we continue thinking about whatever that thought was that came into the mind, what'll happen, other pre recorded tapes, I now call them, or conversations will sure as hell show up that are similar to whatever that thought was. It you know you're really waking up when you catch that your mind just put a conversation, a pre-recorded tape, a habit about something in your mind and you're listening to it, which means it's something from the past, some memory or story from the past, or it's talking to you about the future, some future fear. That if that happens, then it's a fear. You have a fear. So once just that's what's so important about meditation. And the crux of this EP 70 is talking about how do you get freedom? How do you decondition and recondition this mind to let go, to be aware of these thoughts that are in the mind or feelings and let them go and not go agree with them and play with them for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes a week, carry a grudge, a whole deal for another a week or a month. And well, regardless of how long you carry it on, the point when you let it go, hallelujah. Because think about it, you're in the past, we might have hung on to a grievance or an old story or a memory for years. Anyway, so the thing is, with meditation, if I had done what this EP 70 talks about, saved me years of work. And what it is into there's these Buddha teachings are written in Tibetan, and so they translate them, doing the best they can to translate what Buddha said. What is it, 2,500 years ago? Anyway, this Tibetan translation is about meditation. Instead of having, here comes Liz. Let me pause here and get Liz in. There's Liz. Okay. In meditation, I didn't realize the significance of not staying in meditation for an hour. Because what Lama Surya Das has recommended is, and I find it to be true, I've tried this out. I find this would have saved me 5 years of work. To break up meditation, well, first, most people have a resistance to meditating each day. I highly recommend a daily practice where you do meditation by yourself, but also practice with a group. And then that you maybe have a Zoom retreat or in-person retreat twice a year with a master, because that'll recharge your batteries and get you back on track. But the thing is, why the 1 hour meditation, if it's not broken up, what happens is we fall into, let me see, find my note about, you fall into a holding pattern, or just kind of a comfort zone. And people fall into the thing of, they start to feel some clarity, but they'll feel bliss, and they just get stuck in that. They're just stuck in that holding pattern. We don't want that, because what this awakened nature is where you're living an ordinary life, but you're seeing the clear light all the time with all the forms integrated with it. It looks like just your ordinary life. Just looks like your ordinary, like there's Jerry's bedroom, there's Ed's room where he's got his books, and Chaz is in her vehicle. It just looks like ordinariness, but it's extraordinary because you see the clear light of God, of presence, capital P presence is here now. It's streaming. It's integrated with all the forms. That's the non-separation, the non-duality. But it looks like duality, and non-duality are joined. Duality looks like objects, like subject, like here's me and there's Jerry. But in this awakened state, there's no subject object. We're all in this together. We're all in this together, breathing together in and out. But to one way to wake up to this, your innate nature, and to this panoramic awareness is meditation. Where many times a day, they're called, and this is a Tibetan translation. Let me see if I can find this. Many quickies rather than a few longings. Many quickies oft repeated to get used to the view. I'm going to repeat this. Many quickies rather than a few longings, period. Many quickies oft repeated to get used to the view. Now, the view is the clear light. So you, even if you don't, it looks like this space that's here. This is God's presence, this clear light. Just think that way. Just there's God. Where, but then you become aware of the thought. Before you know it, your mind gets carried off with that thought. You're no longer looking at the clear light. So the purpose of these of meditation, just try this, where you, like the Muslims have, 5 times a day they get out their prayer rug and they face Mecca and they bow and they do their prayers. 5 minutes, 5 times a day. How many of us do that? Well, I know I do. How many of you do that? Not very many people do that. So they'll go, well, I don't have 5 minutes. Well, then try a minute. 5 times a day. And then what'll happen as I look back on this from 2014 to now, I didn't know what I was doing, but I was starting to do what this says, break everything up many, many times a day into these quickie meditations where you take a breath, and you just out breath and just relax, look and just be, and kind of be, go like however you do meditation, just stop and kind of look in your mind or be with your space you're in, relax. And you catch a thought come, let the thought go, come back, relax. So just try that for a minute, 5 times a day. But what I found has been happening to me since 2014, when I found that Gary Renard Disappearance of the Universe book, and I decided to say to as many things as I could remember, all of it, all of it, all of it. And I found that meditation I put back in the email here. I did that meditation and said all of it, and I designed that sentence of you are spirit, whole, pure, and innocent, all is forgiven and released. And I am spirit. I am not this body, whole, pure, and innocent. All of it, all of it. God, God, I love you. You know, what you're doing, this is deconditioning your mind to think about God many times during the day. So, so I would say that, and then that 4 years or so later, Arc-A-Light got released and the Great Race started to download. But that wasn't the whole awakening. My heart needed to open, my mind needed to awaken to this innate clear light nature and the integration of form with emptiness. So there's a whole, therefore, the delusion of separation was gone. It's gone. Let go of. Okay, so that's the crux of this 1 minute, 5 times a day. And then, or saying all of it to as many things as you can remember to do. Because all of it, what all of it means, when something's all of it, there's nothing else. Well, guess what there is? There's only God's presence. That's all there is. That's what all of it means. There's all of it. There's only God's presence. But anyway, this results in a transformation of your heart because uh, in this EP70 podcast, I realized, the Buddha said one of the issues is the thought of a self, a separate self. But in this EP70, it got further defined of the demon, the main culprit of the problem is selfishness. Selfishness. And selfishness that's like egotism. Egotism, right? Is the main culprit causing us to get caught in these trees, in these uprisings. But that selfishness can be deconditioned by practicing these practices that are in that EP70, which is these short meditations. And what was the other one I want? Oh, the other thing is there's Buddha's main rule, Vajra rule, could be called platinum rule, is see the light in everything and everyone. Now, see, that's a Course in Miracles. That's also treated, seeing through, being through, cutting through to see the clear light of spirit. See the light in everything and everyone. So, of course, that means you want to stop. You're at the grocery store, gas station, coffee shop, wherever the hell you are. Stop and this takes it takes some practice because you'll get back home. You go, well, damn, I didn't think of any of them as spirit. If you're me, I'll kind of forget. Now, kind of like it's coming to me like before a condo board meeting. Okay, Holy Spirit, help me remember to go look out to all these people. They are the light of spirit that they are. If you can pull off doing it one time when you're off talking to somebody, man, that's great. Because we're conditioned to think about them as a body, and I'm a body, and you're a body, you get it. So, what's happening if you stop many times a day, you're changing your habitual patterns. And another way you can do it, I want to get back on, is when you're eating, just damn stop and eat. Like I wrote in the email, when I was eating an ice cream bar, the olden way to eat the ice cream bar, you just eat it and you're not even before you're done, it's gone. You've eaten it. Well, no, you just kind of stop. You feel the smoothness of the ice cream in your mouth. You hear the crunch. This is vanilla ice cream on a bar with chocolate, that chocolate coating. Hear the crunch of the chocolate as you bite on it, crunch of it in your teeth as you chew on it, the sight of it, just looking at it, the sight of it, then the sound, but then the holding of the bar of the stick that it's on. Damn, this sounds so simple, but look what's involved here. The senses of sight, sound, I'm thinking about it, I'm tasting it. There's 4 or 5 sensations I'm damn mindful of. I'm in the present moment, aware I'm eating that ice cream bar. That is instead of an old habitual pattern of eating the ice cream bar. And while I'm eating it, probably my mind's wandered off to think about some past story. I'm not kidding. This happens so fast. We just think this is the way life is. The mind just wandering off, gluing together memories and stories about a current event that's showing up in front of my face. That's freedom, is when you stay in the moment, aware of what you're eating, aware. And then that's why it's so important. We're breaking the habits of how we think. That's the all of it. You're the see the light in everyone, the things we've been talking about. But how we react, catch how somebody says something, how you damn react like that. Just sit with that later and contemplate what habitual habit pattern occurred where you just damn reacted like that. Then that softens it because you're contemplating some old habit. For example, in that EP70, he asked this EP70 podcast came out of a in-person retreat, and those in-person retreats with these lamas, they cost over $1,000 for 7 days. And he's taken a segment out of that in-person retreat, putting it for free in his Awakening Now podcast on YouTube for us to listen to. EP70. But the thing is, he asked this in-person group, when you're in the shower, just turn a different direction than you normally turn. See how that feels. And then now, right now, y'all that are here, he says to the group, and I'm going to say it to y'all, just cross your arms. Just cross your arms right now. Cross them. Cross your arms. Okay. Now, change the arms, how they're crossed. You'll feel different, right? Feels kind of odd. Well, that's a habit. That's a habit. How we cross our arms. But that's nothing to the habits of how we think, how we react, how we eat, how we breathe, how we relate moment to moment, how we walk. So I realized I've been saying to myself for several months, I want to be aware of what I'm doing while I'm doing it. I've heard me say that to y'all. That is a damn big deal. Because as I'm walking now, I hear the step as I walk and feel the movement of the feet as they walk. I'm in the moment of walking. And there's other sensations involved with feeling, being aware of the walking. When I'm aware of the walking, then I'm more apt to be aware of some thought that's going to show up and whether I wander off with it or whether I'm in the now. I'm walking to the washing machine to put my laundry in. This is conditioning your mind to stay in the now. This is huge. It's called nowness awareness. This is where you get panoramic awareness from. If you're not in the moment, you can't get the big view of all the forest. You're stuck in the trees. Within these habitual thoughts. This is a really powerful awakening experience. And breathing, how we breathe. Remember, I talked to you about I breathe shallowly in the upper part of my chest. 2 finger widths below your navel. You want to take the deep breath in. My breathing has changed. My breathing has deepened from below my belly to come up, and then it goes down. It's a smooth in and out. And therefore, when I start to feel nervous, man, I'm very mindful then. The breathing had changed. So it brings me into the moment, the now. What changed? What was I thinking about that caused me to be anxious, to cause my breathing to change to shallow? And what's the remedy? The remedy is just to give an out breath and let go, like, ah. And then I let go of my anxiousness. It's that simple. In that podcast, Lama Surya talks about that 1 minute, just 30 seconds, 5 times a day, 1 minute, 5 times a day, versus 1 hour. Thinking, man, I made it. I did my 1 hour meditation day. I'm done. Well, where's the rest of the 23 hours in the day where I'm asleep in my habitual habit patterns? Where the hell am I? I'm asleep. Even if in meditation, even though I just think I did great. I went in my 1 hour. Was I awake and mindful in my 1 hour meditation, aware of what thoughts were coming and going? And I mean, my mind wandered off and I took the breath and went and let go and came back to the moment, started again. That's what this means is in that second, when I take the out breath and just go, ah, the body, heart, and mind is relaxed and is in union with source right then. So just be aware when you do that, how you feel different. Just let go. The form, relax, let go. And you're merged, you're in one you're one with source and all beings. Like there isn't a mystery to this. This is what union with source is. This relaxation and being with this clear light that's here right now. Just relax and be with it. And let thoughts, feelings, sensations come and go. Radical acceptance come and go. I hope I'm doing justice to this because, when I'm talking about these quick remedies, just stop, breathe, relax, sky gaze. And by sky gaze, it means bring to mind that blue sky. And by golly, in a heartbeat, your mind opens to its vast, open nature. That clear light, vast, open nature, that all these thoughts, feelings, and sensations come and go within it. And they're created by that clear light. They're mirage images, they come and they go. They're created by the clear light for the experience of being in a body. That's why the sonship invented duality, invented the form, created the form, was to experience what the pure love, the clear light, which means pure love, what pure love and pure clear light feels like inside a form. With that clear light being compressed, it made darkness. It compressed clear light into darkness. Darkness is even all light to make these images, colors, and vibrations. And it created the senses, hearing, sight, hearing, smell, taste, touch, thinking. All these senses were created to be experienced, spirit living in a form. But we've forgotten we're spirit. We've forgotten we're the clear light. We're in the delusion of separateness, that we're a separate ego, a separate self, and fall into these stories and memories where we name, label, and evaluate the images that are showing up, right? So we just let those thoughts, feelings, and sensations come and go. It's just the experience. And one of the things I recognized I was doing that helped, would have saved me 5 years at least, is the statement. Let's see if I can get this. What I do is, oh, dang, I forgot. Uh, hearing a sound, but no one hearing it. Listening to a sound, but no one listening. Now, seeing a sight, but no one to see it. Now, that befuddled my mind for months and years. Seeing a sight, but no one seeing it. So, what this means is you have the gaze, you have the vision, you allow these sights. Oh, Leon's calling, but Leon, we're in group. We're in group. Let me text Leon and tell him we're in group, see if he's got a problem. Leon, I should have talked to him, right? I could have found out if he's having a problem, but I didn't. So let's go here. Leon. Everything's perfect like it is. Leon, I'm in our Zoom meeting. Can't you get in? Okay. All right. Now, what I wanted to get at is seeing a sight, but no one to see it. I'm sorry that I'm butchering that a little bit. The thing is, our awareness, our true nature, innate nature is this clear light, which exemplifies our purity, pure unconditional love, our purity and innocence, wholeness, allows those sights to come and go, just appreciates them and enjoys them, but lets them come and go. So there's no subject, you seeing the sight to react to it because you've let go of subject object. You just got to sit with this, contemplate it, come up with your own understanding, but it's huge. Seeing a sight, but there's no one to see it. Hearing something, but there's no one hearing it because it's just a sensation coming and going, a sensation to be experienced and let go of. You're not identifying with it. You're not naming it. You're not labeling it. You're not evaluating it good or bad. Because by golly, you start labeling it good or bad. Guess what? Wham, you're in dualism. You just caused dualism in your mind. Even though it's a mirage, you've called this sucker good or bad. And you're in dualism. We're integrating dualism with non-dualism. That's the clear light, and all the forms and images are coming and going. Oh God, I got to get back to this rocking. Wait, there are two things. Let's get to the rocking. Let me make a note. So I'm going to continue this next week because I kind of was nervous tonight, and I had to take like our tools out of our toolkit. I had to do Omahung, get myself aligned. I was breathing in and out of my eyelids because I was nervous. I wanted to do right by Holy Spirit in this presentation of this. And but this awakening is we become aware, this capital A awareness, panoramic awareness. We're aware of how we're feeling. We're aware of how our body feels, how we feel. We're no longer ignoring it, repressing it, denying it. We're not wallowing in it, but we're aware of it. I was aware I was feeling nervous. So I took a breath, went, and then I did Omahung. You've got your own toolkit. Omahung, oh, mine's Omahung, Omahung. Get me vertical in the great ray. Then I immediately see where the great ray meets the clearness of source, and I'm in the now. I'm in the still center, being and right there. I'm no longer in that separate nervous state. It's that simple. It's that simple. Um, Back to when we see the light in everything and everyone, what you're doing, that's the ultimate teaching of the Course and Dzogchen. It's a platinum rule, a Vajra rule, a diamond rule. It's the ultimate rule. This causes transformation of your heart to your loving, innate nature because you're seeing the holiness, the highest nature, the Buddha, Christ, God nature, and thinking about it of all these people over and over and over and over and over until it'll stabilize in with you. But what happens is you start to feel more loving. And in Buddhism, they don't talk about love like A Course in Miracles does. Buddhism talks about loving metta, loving kindness, talks about compassion, joy, and equanimity equal to all. Well, all those things are those four heartitudes naturally will occur if you stop and think about repeatedly more and more often see the light in everyone and everything, like rocks, even bugs, the grass, the water, because it's all created by the clear light. It's all created by the clear light. is sustained by the clear light, energized by the clear light, and purified by this clear light. Okay, now I want to get to that rocking motion. How I used to experience the great ray, it comes in, and then when it comes in, the top of the great ray is a tube above my head, your head as well. Comes in, comes in the top, it comes in the back center of the head, down the spine, at the pelvis or root chakra, it turns and goes back up. It's a downward and an upward movement, downward and upward movement. And since 2018, that's how I felt it. But on the 28th of November, it changed. And I'd have to check my notes. I think I was just meditating in the living room. Well, I think I was either watching a basketball or a college football game. And I was breathing in and out. I pictured all the players. There was no separation between them, that their breath expanding and the light energy was expanding and contracting throughout all the forms. There was no separate edges to their forms. Then what happened, my breath is rejoined with that great ray light energy. But when it came in, the top of my head came down. And instead of turning at the pelvis and heading straight back up my central channel, out the top back to source, it went out my navel. It went out my navel. And I've sat with this about what speed of light, but it dawned on me, in the eternal now, there's no time and there's no space. In a heartbeat, that great ray light went out of my navel, went in through the universes to the farthest reaches of the universe, and then retraced its steps. That means it's bringing all the sentient beings, all the planets, all the stuff back through my navel, up the central channel, out of the top of my head, up the tube, back to the pure land, that groundless ground, the clearness of God presence that's right there at the top of the great ray tube. And immediately it came back down. Flowed out of my navel to the farthest reaches of the universe, came back in, went up, it came down, went out in a rocking motion, an in and an out rocking motion. It was mesmerizing, very soothing, very soothing's the word, soothing. And I felt in union with everything. But later, as I sat with this, I realized everything was flowing through this form. This form was a vessel, a conduit, a vessel that the great ray light could use that comes out and goes out into the universe. And as the light goes out of the universe, it's sending pure, clear light that breaks up any darkness. And on the inward, coming back inward movement, it's bringing in any darkness, bringing it up the central channel, back up to source to be purified. So this force, great ray force, in naturally, see, when it comes in, it's energizing, infusing the forms, and at the same time breaking up darkness, bringing the darkness back in to heal any darkness of all the beings and the planets and all the animate and inanimate objects, back up to source for the cycle to start over. And it came to me, it felt like a pendulum that was going back and forth. And I realized what it was doing, it's balancing. This great ray light that's coming through each of you now, even though you're not aware of it, is going through everybody. And now it is, you're just not aware of it. The flow's going through you too. The flow's going through you as well. Everything is united. Everything's inseparable. It's all flowing, all moving together, because these are mirage images. These are dreamlike images. These are echoes. These are like lightning strikes. These are, yeah, you get it, temporary images created by that clear light. But the thing is, it's balancing. And it dawned on me this pendulum, this rocking motion, balances. This is form and emptiness. I'm going to list off several things here. Form are all the bodies that the sonship created to be inside to feel the experience of clear light. Forms, but emptiness is the clear light, the openness, the vast emptiness, not obscured by anything, doesn't move, doesn't change. Form and emptiness are balanced together. Okay, then I made I made my list goes. I'm doing and being are balanced. Doing and being are balanced. Effort and non-effort are balanced. Effort and non-effort. Yin and yang are balanced. What I'm just describing is, and dualism and non-dualism are balanced. This great ray in and out movement is balancing everything naturally. If we leave it all alone and don't fall into the habit of naming, labeling, and evaluating these sensations and thoughts that are coming and going in our mind, you are a miraculous, creative vessel that's allowing everything to be cleansed and energized through you, besides your own form. So that's why if you relax, breathe, smile, relax, you fall into this natural, innate rhythm. Breath and energy, just sit with your breath, just breath in and out. The light, great ray light energy is moving with that, is balancing and healing your form of thoughts of separation right then. It's like, okay. Oh, and to also kind of summarize, truth and love open us up to panoramic awareness. Truth. Now, tonight, what I'm speaking about is the truth of what you are. Truth and love opens you to this panoramic awareness where there's no edges, no boundaries, no, here comes Leon, no boundaries, no edges. Everything's open, vast like the sky. That's why it's called sky gazing. You're just kind of gazing at this world that's seems to be occurring right in front of your face. You're kind of gazing at it. You're not focusing right in on it, just narrowing. That's when the labeling really starts, when you get diverted into the story. You've fallen into the web. You've fallen entangled into that web of thoughts, sensations, and perceptions, and good, bad thinking. And you got to get untangled from it using the toolbox. So next week I'll read off more of those things in the toolbox. But left, right, eye flicking, you get all looped up into some problem or worry. Left, right, eye flicking, upward gaze of the eyes, breathing in and out of the eye, closed eyelids. Can take a breath, and let go. Take a breath and let go. And you'll say to yourself, "Oh, I was getting tangled up in that. How silly of me." Because when you took that breath and you breathe out, go, you've let go. And you're back to your clear light presence in the moment, in the now, nowness awareness. So just try it. Just try to change some of these become aware of some of these habitual thought path. What are they called? Habitual old ways of thinking, reacting, walking, eating, breathing, relating moment to moment. Just jot those down and become aware. Am I aware I'm walking from here to the kitchen? Am I aware I'm walking? Do I hear the sound of my feet? Because if you get into it, that's also called being kind of grounded. like when you're driving, is when your bottom's on the seat of your car. Are you really in the car, or is your mind thinking about the destination you're going to get to, or a past conversation you just had, or somebody called you on the cell phone and you're thinking about that? You want to bring your awareness to where you're at, your attention to your body. Your body's always in the now, that your attention, your bottom's in that car seat, your feet are on the ground, and you feel you walking to your kitchen. Are you aware when you go to the bathroom and when you wash your face? So that really was an eye opener. Aware of how the lotion, how it feels on your hands, aware of the sound of the water coming out of the faucet, aware of the sound when you splash water on your face, aware of the sound when you're rubbing around on your face. It that's involved sight, sound, and thinking. You think you see the faucet, you're seeing things. That's four or five of these sensations that when you become aware in the moment, you're in the moment, aware of what you're doing at that time. You're in the now. And then if you stop just a second, you'll see the clear light that your image is, that you're doing all this in, the clear light of God's presence. Just like that lesson 222 said, God is with me. God is with me. He is my source of life, the life within, the air I breathe, the food by which I am sustained, the water which renews and cleanses me. He is my home, wherein I live and move. Yeah, the spirit which directs my actions, offers me its thoughts, guarantees me my safety, covers me with kindness. So he's the clear light that you're moving in, that you're washing your face in. It's great. Be aware. That's the nowness. That's awakening. There was a sentence that was in this EP 70 about awakening. It's a very simple statement. Let's see if I got it. It's just awareness of what is. I kind of darn. Maybe as we talk, I'll find the sentence that he defined what awakening means. And I put it in big caps here. Oh, he says, try to break out. How about how we think? That's what I talk about, or where I learned these words from. He says, just try to break out. Now, what's that mean? Break out of the box of your old habitual patterns. How you eat, how you breathe, how you think, how you walk, how you relate moment to moment. It's very hard to change our habits. We're very heavily conditioned, he says. And yeah, all of this causes you to be a better person and contributing to a better world in the relative sphere of where we really live. Ride the crest of nowness. Take a moment, take a breath, breathe, relax, and smile. Oh, I love this. I forgot this. Perforate. This is called perforating the solidity of your claustrophobic day. And let the fresh air of naked awareness blow through your claustrophobic day. See, that's it. Claustrophobic day is we're in this box of habitual thought patterns, habits. Just try to break out of the prison. Yeah, wow. And you do it moment by moment, 1 minute, 5 times a day. Then you go to 1 minute, maybe 10 times a day. I realize now I wrote my email, maybe it's 30 times a day. Heck, I think, because I thought 8 hours, at least 3 times, I'm breaking out 3 times an hour. No, it's more than that, but whatever. What matters is you get into a routine of being with your innate clear light nature, being with this clear light. Relax, just let go and go. And just rest there a second in that pause, in that clear light. That's your innate nature. As many times as you can a day. This will save you 10 years of work. Yay. I'll find that. Any thoughts or comments before I stop the recording? here. Oh, I was looking for, well, you all think about that. I was going to see if I want to repeat the main poison, the culprit to our separation is selfishness, egotism, which means the delusion of separateness. When I thought of that, I realized how I used to feel separate. When I feel separate, I feel alone. I feel alone. I feel lonely. I feel kind of scared, feel kind of anxious. Then what happens? I want to protect myself. So then I start to make these habits. Well, if that happens, I'm going to do this. I'm not falling into that trap again. Then you set these conditions up. You make these habits of how you protect your heart, how you protect your feelings. And then before you know it, you've got yourself boxed into all these habits and conditions of separateness. And that taking that breath, that letting go, you're relaxing, you're letting go of the edges of your body to relax, to dissolve and re-merge with the clear light of God presence that's here now. And you just do that many, many times a day. And you're remembering your natural state, this beingness, this resting within this clear light. And it will make you more responsive. It'll give you a pause where you're not just reacting. You get a little pause where you can respond to the conditions that show up in front of your face instead of this reacting business. And then you feel more loving, like we talked about. You feel more loving, more joyous, more empathetic, more equanimous, equal to all. You start to feel this breath and energy is expanding and contracting equally in among everything. Everything's equal. It's all interconnected, all interdependent via this clear light of source. It just all it you get your truth. The truth will set you free. Truth and love. Truth and love will set you free from this delusion of separateness. I'm still trying to find this. Pray to find that. Well, I'm gonna wait. I'll find it. Okay, any thoughts or comments? All right, so we look at our tiles and we think of our brothers. We see the light in everyone and everything. There's Buddha Ed, there's Buddha Chaz, there's Buddha Julia, there's Buddha D, there's Buddha Jerry, Buddha Leon, Buddha Glinda, and those that are watching this video later. And I see Ed unmuted. If it's a quick question, Ed, go for it.
Oh,
And you
so
come from awareness.
not a question. I do have to run along, but yeah, I loved what Deb said earlier on her leading, the morning meditation, saying Buddha was asked, "What have you gained?" Upon awakening, and he said, "Better something like it's better not to ask what I've gained, but what I've lost." So going on about the process of subtraction, as another teacher put it. And so there, no self um, interacting with objects, and that I've been commenting a bit that I had that experience. I guess it was, anyway, about a week and a half ago during one of the sessions saying where I had contemplated a little bit presence because my sister had used that expression, the future is a mystery, the past is history, and the gift the gift is now. That's why they call it the present. And I was thinking, and I thought of the phrase practicing the presence, which sounds dualistic, but one of my other teachers used that expression as a pith remark. But anyway, I got into the presence, and I also think of that is when in the expression, the Dzogchen expression, let the child luminosity merge with the already known mother. So that's knowing the mother, knowing that just that light, that bliss, that Satchidananda, existence, consciousness, bliss. It's knowing that where there's no objects, I'm not an object anymore.
Yeah. Well,
Never
I'm wanting
was.
you to feel, Edward, I'm wanting you to feel the beingness. And what you've lost are you're losing these habits, these old habitual habits of
Sure.
reacting, thinking, breathing, walking, eating. Look at it that way.
Well,
You'll bring it home to your daily life.
yeah, and
That
everything that
brings,
you were saying, um, resonated with me, and I feel that, I am doing that. I just my own guidance shows me, that that's what to do. And
great.
so, but the child luminosity is just the world, and the mother luminosity is the source, and then, but they are, ultimately, it's just oneness. And,
Yeah.
but to feel that presence, what I'm calling capital P presence, that I've never felt before. I mean, at least not to that degree, where
Mhm.
it's just, revolutionary. And
Well, it's
I
great.
just and
Well,
I just
see,
and I just mentioned it to others, and I'm talking mentioning it now.
well, Edward, I love that because we're wanting to build on that. That's one moment of feeling presence. So that's an opening that you now are aware of how it feels. Just not try to get back to that feeling because that's the past. Not trying to recapture that deal. You're in the moment, the now moment, being just as it is, this clear light, letting thoughts and feelings come and go. Don't try to recapture that. Just stay in the be 1 minute, 5 times a day,
Yeah.
and relaxing into that clearness. Whether you're a child or a 90-year-old adult, the same luminosity is there, or a 100-year adult. Thank you,
Thank
Edward.
you.
Now
Okay,
there's
Thank you. And
Chaz.
gotta go. Thank you.
Thank you, Edward. Yes, Jerry, and then
I
Chaz.
just I want to say goodnight, but I just want to say thank you so much for helping me, start to break out of that jail, you call it, and doing that 1 minute 5 times a day and giving us this toolbox. I appreciate it.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Jerry. I
Good
love
night.
hearing the practice. Thank you, Jerry.
Yeah,
Thank you for coming
I'll
out.
tell you what
Yeah,
happens. Thank you.
okay. There's Chaz. We're still recording. Go ahead, Chaz. People love to hear your thoughts and comments. You're good until after the recording? Okay. Any thoughts or comments before I stop the recording?
Hey, Glenda. What was that 1 minute practice again?
Is, oh, act like it's an hour meditation, but for 1 minute, you just be like you're in meditation and be aware of what thoughts and feelings come and let them go. But do it repeatedly throughout the day.
Oh, nice. Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Break it up.
Yeah,
Thank you. I'm glad you could be here. We're gonna stay to chat.
awesome.
Oh, okay, thank you. I'm gonna stop the recording.